Hey there, welcome to the Agents of Revival podcast. If you're ready to be healed and take full accountability of your life by evolving into your best self, then this is the podcast for you. I am your host, Andrea Griffin Rogers, and I'll share with you winning steps as well as personal tips and anecdotes on how to go from brokenness to wholeness and from scattered pieces to inner peace. So come on in and join me on this healing journey, and let's become whole together. Enjoy it! Hey, what's up, guys? How are you today? Man. We getting there, y'all. We are getting there. That means towards the end of the season. But don't worry, it's not yet. But I'll let y'all know, as I always do, when the end of the season is. Thank God for getting us through this. And I really hope you guys have been enjoying this season. I know I have. I mean, this vision series has been amazing because we need to understand how to maneuver as well as how to show up in this season. Understand that your vision is not just about a business deal. Your vision is not just about where you want to see yourself in the next 20, 30, 50 years in life financially. Your vision is about your life today and for a better tomorrow. That means you, the inner you that you need to deal with in order to receive, achieve, and maintain a better tomorrow. Because so many people focus on what is to come for tomorrow, and they focus on these earthly things about the money and the fame and the house and the cars and this and the other, all these things that man applauds and thinks is so amazing. And it's not. God causes the foolish things to confound the wise. And so you think that is the amazing thing. But what I've been learning and been teaching in my own journey as well as in other people's lives is that you got to be willing to heal from within first in order to be able to become your best self. Because when you become your best self, then you are in a position of power and authority to be able to handle whatever comes your way in that new season. That means that whenever you receive what you want, what you've been dreaming for, what you've been praying for, what you've been desiring for, when you do the work internally first, you have a better external factor, if you will. You're able to handle it and manage it much better because you've done the work internally. Because it's just like, for example, the lottery. When people win the lottery, their statistics show that most people that win the lottery wind up going bankrupt within a year to 5 years time of winning that money. Why? Because they got something that they wanted, which was the money and possibly the fame and the houses and cars and whatnot. So they got the fame and fortune and all these other earthly things, but nothing happened internally. And so if you did not deal with, for example, your money issues and how you budget money and how your outlook on money, as well as your internal issues that causes you to spend on things, especially unnecessary things, then what you'll do is get that money and waste it. Get that money and lose it really quickly because you did not deal with the work within. But when you choose to deal with the work within, then when you, for example, get the money, win the lottery that you've been praying for. I don't mean in this particular moment now, an actual lottery, but maybe you've been praying for a spouse. Maybe you've been praying for more friends. Maybe you've been praying to get into that college or that university. Maybe you've been praying, to move somewhere. You got to deal with you first, because another thing when it comes to moving, I have known people, as well as I have seen it time and time again, where people move to a location and they think that if I move here, I'll be better, I'll do better, I'll live a better, more overall life. And then if you were to interview those people 3 months, 6 months, a year later, they in the same boat that they were in when they were in their last location. And it's like, well, how are you still here? Or how did you wind up dealing with depression here or anxiety there? Or how did you wind up having relationship issues there? And it's because they focused on the there being their happy place, not realizing that your happy place comes from within. Because when you heal from within, you could be happy wherever you are. Even if you're in the midst of a storm, you can still find joy, because joy comes from within. Peace comes from within. It's not an external thing. And so that's why you get people who have the things. I mean, how many people have we seen in terms of celebrities who have the wealth and are battling addictions, who wind up committing suicide? And it's like, wow, you had all this money, fame, fortune. You had all of it. And how is it that you gave it all away by ending your life? What happened to that person? And it's because there were some inner demons, battles that they faced that they never dealt with. And so you got to be willing to heal from within. Because when you heal from within, there comes a songful joy in your heart. There comes a beautiful song that pours out of you. But it starts from within. You're able to hold on to something that you may not have been able to hold on to had you not did the healing. And it's that very song, it's that very beautiful healing that manifests in your life that you're going to hold on to. That's the song I'm talking about today. Don't give up your song. When you've done the work, when you've healed, when you have established peace in your heart because you've healed from the painful areas of your past, when you have joy, when you have rest, you don't easily give that away because you recognize what it took to get it. Anything worth having is worth working for. And so if these are areas of your life you want to be completely healed, you want to be whole and set free from the painful things of your past, even something that recently happened. You want to have real joy in your life and not just conditional happiness that is based upon the situation. The situation determines your happiness. If you don't want that and you want real joy, if you want real victory, if you want real rest, then it's going to require some work. Yeah, it's going to require you to roll up your sleeves and do some internal work. Because when you're doing that internal work, then you'll receive such a beautiful tune. Because your attitude changes. And your attitude will ultimately change your environment. I've seen it in my life because of the song that I've developed in a season of brokenness by doing the work and healing and now having the song of victory. I have seen how my light internally has changed the darkness around me externally. So no, my environment necessarily hasn't changed, but the people around me have begun to change based on the light I'm exuding to them. So you never know who you are impacting or who you will one day impact based on your willingness to do the hard work now. Yeah, it's tough. It's challenging. When you're going through a tunnel of transformation, it's challenging. When you're going through a wilderness season, when you are going through a hard time, it seems crushing. And it seems like there's nothing good that can come from this. But I promise you, every good song was developed from a painful place. Every good song was developed from a scattered situation. What do I mean by that? I mean, any song that you hear in this world today by a particular artist came from words, just various words, like a jigsaw puzzle, various words that they just was hearing or receiving or feeling or thoughts or whatever, and they just started to write them down. Or they might have started to sing it along with the strum of the guitar. And then it just kind of came together. How many times have you heard an artist say that with their music? That like they were just, trying to put it together. They would listen to the beat and the words just kind of came together. It just, because it came from that moment where they sat down in solitude, away from the world and the noise of the world, to then put together their thoughts, to be able to sing it out. Excuse me. Same thing goes for And artists, people love, I won't name their names for legal purposes, but people love some of these favorite R&B and soulful and pop artists. You name your favorites. And most of them, especially the greats, the queens of whatever, most of them, their music came out of broken places. Now, it went to sell on millions and billions of records worldwide, but it came from something that they went through that they then were able to write about, that then gave them the victory that they wanted, and then the accolades and the resources that came afterwards. But they had to go through something to be able to write about something, to be able to sing the song. And so what are you fighting right now that God may be using to develop you so that you can have a song that nobody can come and take away from you? Let me tell you something. When you're going through a broken place, there is a song of worship that comes out of you. There's a pain, a wailing that comes out of you because you have nothing left to give. All you have to give to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords is your song. All you have to give to him. When we read the book of Psalms, it literally it's songs, actually, that the Jewish people call songs. And if you go and you look up certain Psalms, it will even say a song of this. And you'll read it, and it may not read like a song, it may be like a poem, or it may read like, somebody's weariness, somebody's lament. But it's a song. And they were able to, from that pain, create something that others can receive and hold on to hope for. Don't give up your song. There is a song developing right now where you are. You may not can see it because it don't look like it. It don't sound like a song. It is, the melodies isn't coming together. It don't sound beautiful. It sound like just noise, clanging cymbals and chatter and drums and whatever just around. It just sounds like chaos. That's how your life may look right now. But understand that it is developing a new life in you. It is developing a new song in you that you are going to one day sing, and people are going to be so drawn to the light that bursts out of you that they're going to know how. How did you survive that? How did you get through that? What did you do to overcome? Because I'm going through the same thing and I need hope right now. I use practical examples for spiritual principles to any of my new listeners out there. I'm not talking about a literal song, so I don't want people who feel like I am not musically inclined, girl. What you talking about? I don't know how to sing a lick or nothing. I'm not talking about a literal song. I'm talking about the joy that's going to pour out of your heart. The song of victory, basically, that's going to pour out of you. You may be going through one thing in one season, but it's not going to be that forever. It's just a short while before you see your season change and shift, and you'll be rat-a-tat-tatting to a song of victory. Happy, joy, singing in the rain. Like you'll be so full of hope and faith and victory because of what you went through. And it is that very song, that joy, that light that's going to exude out of you, that others are going to see you and say, how did you get through it? I need to know. And that's not necessarily the opportunity where you'll tell them everything. But God, if you allow God to take your words and give you the right words, take your mouth and put his words into your mouth, they'll receive what they need to receive. I can't tell you how many times I have encountered people, the smallest things, and then all of a sudden outpours their problems, but also out of my mouth pours hope. I'll give y'all several examples. One example was fairly recently. I was in a market and I was in the market I go to would say the nature aisle, but it's like the gluten-free vegan aisle because I'm gluten-free and I'm vegan. And so I'm in that aisle and I'm shopping. And here's this man that is in the aisle. He seems, you can always tell those who are not vegan and gluten-free because they don't know what they're looking at and what to do with that aisle. And so this person is in that aisle and they're kind of like walking around and just looking through the things, and they don't really know like what to pick up, what. And so they see me just knowing what I'm going for, what I'm grabbing for, whatever. And so they stop and they ask me and they say, just ask me about a product. Like, is that product actually any good? And I said, oh, yes, it's good. And they were like, oh, and then so they tell me, oh, well, because of I'm trying my best to be healthier now and da-da-da-da. I didn't ask you. Now, I didn't say this to them, but I'm saying it to you. I didn't ask them to tell me that what they were going through. They just chose because of my light that was shining out of me, towards them, to say, oh yeah, this product is da-da-da. And it was like, oh, well, because I'm trying to be healthier too and whatnot. And so I just want to know what I should be getting, what I shouldn't be getting. And so we had a whole conversation. And then they left and were very happy that they stopped and talked to me. They even said, like, well, I'm glad you're just so pleasant. Now, they don't know that the joy of the Lord is my strength. So they don't know that what I've been through, but I was able to at least share something with them that was allowed to put a little bit of a seed of light in their life. I've had another experience, and I have several of these. So I'm just thinking of certain examples that come to mind. One experience where I was in a store shopping for somebody, and I asked somebody an opinion, like, hey, you see me around the age of the person I'm shopping for. What do you think? And this is an older woman, and the older woman was, first of all, taken aback that I would ask of her. And then she was like, oh, well, I think this, and I thought that would be it. And I turned to walk away, and she literally started saying, I thank you so much for asking me, because my daughter and my granddaughter, they don't never want to ask me anything. And, and she started to pour out more of what she was going through, of the disconnect in her family, and how she really wants to feel useful in her family and share with them what she knows. And again, I didn't ask her for what she was going through, but my light was a song that in her spirit felt drawn to hear it, to say, let me share with this woman who I don't know my personal story and what I'm going through. And I was able to give her advice. I ain't seen that lady since. She hasn't seen me since. And that's okay. Everybody's not meant to do life with you. Some people come into your life only for a reason. In that moment, the reason for me was to get her advice. But what I saw deeper, once I stayed long enough, was the reason was to connect with her and encourage her faith. To give her some pointers of hope that there are still youth, that she's still useful. Because who knows? Now I won't go to the extreme and say maybe she wanted to end her life. No, I won't say that. But maybe she just felt like she lived her best days. But here I am, a young woman that came to ask her for her opinion. And that made her feel hopeful again. That, oh, she does still have something more to offer. Even if right now her granddaughter and her daughter don't want to receive. That there are still other people out there that do. And so who knows if from that moment of me, sharing my song with her, that she went and volunteered somewhere to be a big sister or something. I don't know. Only God knows what she did. But you never know what you plant in somebody when you are just willing to let them share your light. Let them receive your song. Now you may say, well, but you said don't give up your song. Okay, so here's the flip side. Don't give it up to somebody who doesn't want to receive it. The Bible says it this way. It says, don't throw your pearls among swine because they'll trample it. Basically, you don't give pearls to pigs. They don't see a value in it. And so there are some people who you are not meant to give up your song to, because they're not going to see value in it. They're not going to receive it. There are some people who I've seen in turmoil and may have wanted to pray for them or go over there and say something, and God will literally say to me, do not go near them. Do not say anything to them. Do not touch them. Because you have to understand something that the Lord shared with me. The spiritual or supernatural realm is more real than the natural realm. That means that what we deal with, we think we're dealing with people, but Ephesians 6 says it this way, that we are not dealing with people, but rather spirits and principalities. So it's understanding that I may see a body of a person in front of me, but this is just flesh. It is a spirit wrapped in flesh. And so you never know sometimes who you're entertaining. The Bible says sometimes you may be entertaining an angel, but then also sometimes you may be entertaining a demon. And so you gotta be very careful not to give up your song to somebody who wants to come steal, kill, and destroy it. Because they'll trample upon your song. They'll trample upon your victory. They'll trample upon your story. They'll trample upon your joy. Their darkness will shine out your light. Or let me rephrase that. Their darkness will try to snuff out your light, rather, because the light outshines the darkness. But their darkness will try to come and snuff it out. Try to come and plant seeds of doubt in your mind. We see that with Adam and Eve, where the serpent says to Eve, did God really say that to you? And then now all of a sudden you're thinking in your mind, well, wait a minute, did God really say that to me? Do I really got a song in my heart? Did God really give me victory? Did God really give me healing? I don't know now, because now the seed was planted into me of did it really happen? And now I don't know. So you got to be very careful to guard your song. Bible says guard your heart, from everything flows from it. The song is in your heart, baby. And you got to guard that thing, because trust me, the enemy is very cunning, and he prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And so you got to stand guard and be alert. There are those that God, as I gave you 2 examples from my life, where God is saying, share your song with them. Share your light with them. Share your joy with them. Share your testimony with them. Share some encouragement with them. And then there are some where God would say, keep moving. Don't stop. Don't speak. Don't collect. Don't stop at go. What is it? What does it say on Monopoly? Don't stop at go. Don't collect $100. Like, no, just keep moving. Now, in this sense, you ain't gonna go straight to jail, but just keep moving. Don't, because they're gonna trample what you have. You gotta guard it, because it's precious. Your song is precious, because your song came from a painful experience that you went through. So you can't just give it up all willy-nilly. No, baby, no. You got to hold that thing and guard that thing, and only let those who want to receive it hear the tune of your song. But those that don't, those that are going to plant seeds of doubt or negativity or stinking thinking in there, no, they're not going to be a weed and come and choke that out. No, you can't let them plant that. The Bible talks about it when it talks about wheat and tares, and it says, the Lord planted a seed of wheat, but then, or the farmer rather planted a seed of wheat. But then as he slept, an enemy came and sowed a seed of a weed or tare. And so when the farmer woke up and the servants woke up and they saw what happened, they were like, well, what should we do? And now at that point, because of what was sown, God says, or rather the farmer says, well, don't uproot it just yet, because you may break the wheat. Let it grow, but at the time of harvest. That means when it comes time for it to produce more fruit, I'm going to tear away that weed that was sown. I'm going to throw it away and burn it up. But that wheat is going to go and give nutrients to somebody else. Now, you done been through a season where it was difficult, or you may be going through it right now. So this is your word of encouragement to hold on. It was difficult. It was trying. It felt like the wheat was choking you out. But God is saying, I'm stepping you into a season of harvest. And I'm going to separate that weed from you, the wheat. And you're going to go on to produce more fruit. You're going to go on and give more nutrients. You're going to go on and nourish the souls of other people. But don't give up your song in the wrong environments. Judge by the fruit, it says in Matthew chapter 7. You got to become a fruit inspector. And I taught a whole message on that I don't have time to get into right now. So if you missed that, then go listen to the episode in the archives of the Agents of Revival podcast. Look for the episode that says the fruit inspector, or become a fruit inspector, because I taught all about how to become a fruit inspector. But you got to become a fruit inspector, because that's the only way you're going to know who you should share your song with and who you should guard it from. Don't be so willy-nilly to give up your song. And so we're out of time, y'all. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. Cause his face to shine upon you. May the Lord God be gracious to you. Show you his favor and give his shalom, give his peace. Take care. Love you guys. Bye now.